Hi everyone. I haven't done my diary in a while, and I felt a very strong urge to connect with you guys. I watched a very powerful documentary, which I'll put the link to in this video as well, which I think is really honestly worth watching. And why it made such a deep impact on me was that it resonated so well with a lot of things that I thought when all of this started. And in my opinion, and I'm no doctor or scientist or anything, just a normal person living on Earth, I had this feeling that this is part of a natural cycle of life. But people came on board, and governments and um, whoever's in charge and control of the countries, whatever systems they were, kind of jumped on board, and it went crazy. It went chaotic, and now he's stuck with people dying alone and people not allowed to go out, restrictions on alcohol and cigarettes in South Africa, people having to wear masks like crazy everywhere in a world where we think this virus hasn't existed before and that it is selective. This virus isn't selective, it's just a virus, and it can be transported across the globe just through the wind, anywhere. It's not selective as to who it's choosing and what it's choosing. But the interesting thing from this documentary was, and you can watch it, which fascinated me, was that this doctor predicted that it would be in a highly polluted area that this type of virus could ignite a reaction for people whose bodies are already under pressure through the toxins in the environment, or toxins that we put onto ourselves, eat, consume, breathe in, that these people are going to be affected. So the virus isn't the thing that is killing the people, but it's activating that attack on the body that people who are already um, low immune, lungs are affected, or some other kind of disease already in existence. And this tackles it because it doesn't present as a typical virus. But I'm not going to go into the logistics of that and the studying and science of that. The documentary does it perfectly well, and you can go and watch that. I'll place the link. But what became apparent to me was that, yes, nature has had viruses and bacteria and microbes since the beginning of time. It's created who we are today, and we live in harmony with most of them. But what this lockdown of the whole planet has brought about is no air travel, very few cars moving and trucks and transport, and people aren't driving to work, no rush hour. Even if, as I'm sitting in, I look outside, just how clear and clean the air is. And I remember when we all first started this, the day one when I went outside, I was like, there's silence. It was quiet. People weren't rushing anywhere. People weren't driving. I haven't seen a plane in the sky. It's stuff like that. Air travel has stopped and or lessened a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's still a few flights and stuff going on, but ultimately, our whole planet has gone into lockdown. Movement wise and travel wise and traffic wise. So pollution has come right down. And what that has given us, I mean, where in a moment in history or time would this have happened any other way? Where would some countries say, hey, you guys, listen, I think the pollution in the air is too much, and I think our planet needs to breathe a little bit so we all can heal. We're not all inhaling all these toxic gases and fumes and methane and carbon monoxide and whatever's in the air. Let's all just quickly stop for a moment. Let's just stop driving our cars. Let's not produce as much stuff. You guys stop flying around the world. Let's see what happens. Who would have listened to that country? Nobody. Nobody. And so it's strange that this tiny little virus is causing a heck of a lot of chaos and fear for some people, but also something awesome and beautiful. And I think that's the thing we need to focus on. Sorry, I'm just moving my camera a bit. Um, I feel like COVID, or just the event, not the virus itself, because it could have been anything, right? But this particular corona virus and COVID that causes the disease of COVID-19. So let's call it the coronavirus. It's brought the whole planet and humanity to a crossroad, more like a intersection, like a Y split in the road. And the one side is, let's just continue life as we always have. Let's just consume as much as we want, destroy the planet as we want, screw green energy, we don't need it, Money, 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 work, 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 die, 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 disease, disease, disease. Awesome. We all know where that is going. Or we can choose the other way, which we had a glimpse into, right? So we all had a glimpse of the animals thriving, the oceans looking better, air being cleaner, sound not being continuously bombarded with noise and sound and traffic and the rush to get to work. And suddenly we're spending time with our families. We're indoors, we're creative, we're designing, we're baking, we're doing gardening, we're doing all these awesome things, art and whatever. I'm editing like crazy. I'm just doing hobbies and things. And that's kind of where we want to go, right? It's going to change our direction for how we balance our work and life. We've realized there's a lot more stuff that can be done from home. We've also realized the importance of family and how awesome the connection is. And when that connection to other people is cut off, connection to friends, connection to humanity, connection to the world, as everyone's still trying to connect, when we're being put into these little prisons. If we choose this path, we choose green energy, we embrace technology that doesn't harm, but that helps us to get more time so we can, instead of rushing around like little rats on the wheel of life trying to just survive and not live and not experience this awesome planet, why don't we all start choosing a different way? Choosing, we don't want to repeat what we've just done. We've all been too super, super unhappy with that. I can't say anyone's been happy with the way that we've been existing. Earning money is difficult. Governments are corrupt. Pollution's ridiculous. The oceans are filthy. Our planet is just like overloaded with toxins. If you think how much we consume, just think about your own house, right? How much in your own house are you actually using? How much junk do we accumulate in boxes and that drawer? You know about that drawer you have? That you never, even if you move house, don't want to even touch that drawer or that box or that room with all the stuff, or your garage with all the boxes. I've got one full of boxes, 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 boxes full of stuff. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with all this stuff? We don't know what to do with all this stuff. I really, really don't know what to do with all this stuff. But we consume way too much. Why do we need to wear all these designer clothes? Where some poor child in China has to work in a factory so we can have clothes that look exactly the same but has got a brand on it. We've become obsessive and compulsive and consume, consume, consume and destroy, destroy, destroy. We're eating so much meat that all the poop and the destruction of the rainforest to feed these cows, but we're all massively obese and fat. Too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. We've done too much. So let's not continue that. Let's not keep going down that road, really. Let's change. We've got an option. We've got choice. We've got power. We've got free will. We can choose. We are the consumer. We are the person buying stuff. We determine what they are producing. So if we are asking for clean air, if we're asking for green energy, if we're asking for healthy, organic, GMO-free food, if we're saying, hey man, I don't want to work the normal hours that I'm working, I want to be able to spread my day in a way where I also see my family. I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, get on a train, get on a bus, get on a tube, get on something, get in my car, rush hour for an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to work myself to death so I can just get home, watch TV and go to bed. Really? Is that why we are here? And so I think it's become a very big spiritual journey for me as well. We're not just here to work ourselves to death for that little tiny bit of holiday, if you get that. And even people who are super wealthy, who can travel the world, a lot of people are still unhappy. We don't like what we're seeing around us, but yet we feel powerless. We look at all of this happening and we feel powerless. I think instead of stopping and focusing on all the stuff that's going wrong, and there's a lot. There are kids who have no social contact who are committing suicide. Governments are more corrupt than ever. Violence to women and kids have increased. Restriction of our freedom, our human rights, legislation that's coming into place, restricting our contact, putting masks on everyone. Do we want more of that? Really? I think the answer is pretty simple. No, we don't want more of that. Do we want cleaner air? Do we want cleaner oceans? Do we not want to stuff ourselves and consume so much because we're so unhappy that we have heart disease and diabetes and just illness, disease all over, mental disease, depression, anxiety, fear, toxicity? Don't we want clean air, clean soil, good vegetables, clean vegetables? Oceans, do we want our kids to grow up in a toxic environment? We've had enough. We've had enough of toxic environments. But we can change that. But we all think, oh no, but I'm so small. A person's a person no matter how small. That's from, I think it's Horton Hears Dr. Seuss, very important words. We're not too small. We're all powerful. We all have equal right to be here. And we all have a voice, and we all can do it together because we shape our world. And if we choose to look the positive way, the right way, which is clean, healthy, lovingly, respecting the planet, in harmony and in balance with the planet and with each other and with our relationships and with work and with money and with business, helping, supporting community, all these beautiful things that we all at heart really want the same things. I think that's where we need to focus and create this global consciousness, this global change, because we can either create hell on earth or we can create heaven on earth. And we've all been craving this one. We are now in the spring, but it depends what we are planting and creating that we're going to reap in our future. So let's not go back. Let's not go back to a hell that we were creating and going into more suffering. We don't want to suffer anymore. Well, I definitely don't. And I would rather choose this side, the happy, clean, green side. And I think we can all change. And you can go and search the internet for whatever your flavor of change is, whether you want to go and climate change or get a bicycle and cycle to work or stop eating meat and putting toxic gases into the environment or whatever you want to do. It's your flavor, it's your life, right? No one's going to tell you how to do that. But maybe choose a way that doesn't harm people, doesn't harm yourself, doesn't harm animals, doesn't harm the planet. Can we all do that? Is that possible? Well, that's my dream. So onwards and upwards to our beautiful brand new heaven on earth. That's what I want to create. And I want to send this message all around the world, and hopefully everyone will get activated by it and do something beautiful and clean and green and loving and awesome, so we can get that here, so we can live in a beautiful, harmonious planet that we're in sync with, that we look after and we care for, and that helps and looks after us and nurtures us. So big hug to everyone. Mwah. Yes, go and be your flavor.